Greetings, this is Atma Bodha, and today's podcast is entitled More Important Than Meditation, Restructuring Your Beliefs. And today is December 15th, 2021. So first of all, what does that mean? More important than meditation, restructuring your beliefs. What that means is that why waste your time in meditation if you can't even come from a place where meditation can be effective for you? If you believe that you are weak, for example, and you do a meditation and try to reach God, and you're thinking, oh, God is great, I am weak. God is great, I am weak. What are you doing? That's a negative affirmation. Negative. You need, if you want to be extraordinary and not ordinary, and that's the key question here. Do you want to be extraordinary? Or are you happy to settle for ordinary? Your life has taken you to this place whereby you're listening to this podcast right now. And so you need to ask yourself, in my opinion, you need to ask this question of yourself, okay? And this is without judgment. Do you want to be ordinary or do you want to be extraordinary? And if you are wanting to be extraordinary, then nothing should stop you. Nothing should stop you from claiming that extraordinariness that's inside of you. But let's go back to the original premise here. More important than meditation, restructuring your beliefs. See, the biggest problem, the biggest by far problem facing humanity today is that people have a very limited understanding of themselves. And more than that, they regard many things about themselves as impossible. They don't consider that there could be something within them that is unlimited, that is amazing, that you can tap into. That's a reality, that's actually more than a reality, that's actually your true, deeper identity. So if you're going to go for a meditation and you're going to try to quiet your mind, to approach the meditation from such a perspective whereby you are anticipating communion with the infinite. And I'm not saying, oh, I am God. No, that's not the message here at all. But the only way to unlock the greater potential within your heart is by opening yourself and saying, hey, there is a greater power out there than me. There is more to me than this body. There is more to you than your mind and your body. And because of that, there's also something more than what you can realize. There's things that exist beyond the capacity of your mind to understand. There's perspectives that exist superior to yours. You don't have all the answers, and you should know that by now. And anyone who says that they have all of the answers is not someone that maybe you should listen to. And having said that, I know I've made some bold claims on these podcasts, but one thing I want to be absolutely clear to communicate is that the mind, by its nature, has limitations. Yes, you can commune with the infinite. However, the glimpses that you're able to get through inspiration is not the totality of all knowledge. You get bite-sized chunks delivered because there's a certain capacity that your mind can handle at any given time. But let's go ahead and return here because I don't want it to seem like we're going too far from the topic. But more important than meditation is restructuring your beliefs. And what does that mean? That means that most people have self-limiting beliefs, and it's because of these self-limiting beliefs, that you have these roadblocks, these hindrances within you that make it more difficult for you to grow. So the important thing is to keep an open mind and not a closed mind. Instead of thinking, oh, this is not possible, this is not possible. Instead, you're saying, oh, this is possible. Or maybe it's hard for me to believe that it's possible, but I'm going to keep an open mind that maybe perhaps it could be possible. If not now, maybe in the future. And that level of receptiveness is very key, because it opens the door, and it may just open the door a crack, but by opening the door and giving some wiggle room for something greater to enter into your life, you are making sure your beliefs are not becoming a hindrance, because that is important. But also I wrote some other things I wanted to share with you. The purpose of each human is to be an independent, self-aware vehicle of love and truth. There is no greater aspiration to have as a human. And this comes back to also the podcast of yesterday when we talked about sin. And what that was about how sin is actually an inferior pleasure. Anything that is a sin is an inferior pleasure. And so what are the superior pleasures? Unconditional love and the inspiration of objective truth, both of which can be experienced continuously all the time, each and every second of each and every day. And when you are experiencing both a heart inflamed with love and a mind inspired by truth, you are operating at the peak of human existence. There doesn't get a greater level than that. And what's amazing about reaching this place is if you're able to do this continuously, you're doing what no billionaire can pay $1 billion to receive. And believe me, they would pay $1 billion to be enlightened, because that's something that no university could confer. That's something no scientific invention can bestow. This is something that occurs naturally, and this is something that you can attain for free. You don't need billions of dollars to reach this. People pay so much money on entertainment, on drugs, on education, and none of these vehicles will get you to arrive at the ultimate place, the ultimate enlightenment. Whereas this podcast series does, can, and will take you to the place of ultimate enlightenment by rewiring your brain and getting rid of self-limiting thinking and opening yourself up to higher potentials and removing all barriers for future growth. But let's go ahead and continue what I wrote earlier today. It is less about false ego and more about you not being independent enough. True individuality is represented by those who cannot be unsettled by anything external. Ego is not the problem that people make it out to be. The problem comes from people not being individual enough. Fragile egos are a symptom of weakness and often found in collectivists, people who are part of the hive mind, the groupthink. They're not, this characteristic of fragile ego is not in real empowered individuals. What does that mean? It means that the more of a false ego that you have, the less of an individual that you are. That is because any conceptions you have about who you are is a direct result of your environment, not your inward identity. When you are able to finally reach that place of true authenticity, you realize that core of you is so deep that because it was an adventure for even you to discover yourself, just imagine how clueless the people in your environment are about who you truly are. When you have this certainty of character, no one else has the power to define you or to dominate you to either subservience or conformity. This is why truly independent individuals do not have an ego problem, because their identity is not attached or reactive to external influence, but rather the external reacts to them. And that is what I wrote earlier today. And just to add to that, what we're really talking about here, and this is pretty consistent throughout all of the podcasts, is that your goal is to come to a place of strength whereby your inner resilience and your inner bliss and your inner love is stronger than anything that you can find on the outside. And when you come from that place, now you are independent. And that's the most important place to come from, is from a place of true individuality. A place whereby no other person can affect your bliss. So more important than meditation is removing those self-limiting beliefs. If you think to yourself that you are weak, stop thinking that. If you think that you have a certain monetary problem or certain emotional problem, or if there's any sort of health problem with somebody else or in yourself, problems are not what you want to obsess on. You don't want to absorb yourself with these kind of problems. No, you want to focus on what? Focus on solutions. Focus on the answer to these problems. Focus on the ultimate truth. Focus on love. Focus on where you want to be. Focus on the deeper identity that is emerging and awakening inside of you right now. Love and nurture that. Kindle that fire, that flame. Because ultimately, if your conviction is strong enough, nothing can stop you. So when you're coming from a place of meditation, when you are wanting to start meditating, you're using this with a very clear purpose. There's no confusion inside of you. You're coming from a place of being stubborn and saying, hey, I am complete. I am extraordinary. I am unlimited. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of the experience of truth. I want to open my heart. I want to experience deeper levels of love. I want that one living truth to descend through my crown and fill my mind up with bliss, to fill my whole body up with bliss, to take me to that next level. Of course, while doing that, it is important to practice acceptance, to accept who you are and the experience of you now and in the immediate past. But at the same time, recognizing that you are not limited by your past history. You're not limited by who you are today. That there is something even more special that is unfolding within you, that is going to reveal itself even greater than what you imagined possible. So this becomes the framework of your belief, to know that there's nothing that is limiting about how you see yourself and to constantly be aware of your thoughts. And if you observe a thought that says, hey, like for example, oh, you're so stupid. It's like, catch yourself. Stop beating yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. That's like one of the most destructive things you can do. Befriend your mind. If you make a mistake, you say, hey, there's no such thing as mistakes, only learning experiences. Be grateful for your mistakes, because it's through our mistakes that we're able to be stronger and to overcome aspects of ourselves and ignorance within ourselves that we would not necessarily have been able to overcome without that mistake being made. As you can see from a common thread here, is you want to approach every situation from an optimistic perspective to really ground yourself in the positive. And how that positive attitude is reinforced is through objective truth. By surrounding and exposing yourself with objective truths that consistently empower you to look to the positive side of every situation, to look for solutions instead of problems. In the people that you meet, you're looking to see the good in them, while also guarding yourself against the possibility of being taken advantage of. Because I know that's been a weakness in some spiritual circles. People get so airy-fairy and so positive that they can become naive, and their mind can be weakened. And that's why it's important to develop that strong mind. And it's not just about love in spirituality, but it's also about mind. It's about having that inner willpower that can give you the resilience so that you're not as easily swayed by external influences and can maintain your independence. And again, the best way to do that is when you silence the mind, to tune that mind to tune it to the higher frequencies of objective truth. That objective truth is an experience, and it's an experience no less strong than love is, except it's been neglected. People don't realize how strong this one living truth is, how much more powerful it is than even love. Because when you have this objective truth inside of you, you feel assertive, you feel dominant, you feel like you can accomplish anything. And then that's what makes this so special. And that's why I want everyone to have this special superpower. But you're not going to get it if you are not able to align yourself in the right way. And to never accept limitation inside of you. To always guard against any restrictive thought or restrictive belief. And that's the key takeaway. And also it's helpful to communicate with others of like minds in the community. And that's why we have divinity.com, which will link to the Reddit community as well as the Discord community, both of which are still in the very early stages. And again, you can check that out at www.divinity.com, DIVINITY. But otherwise, all I can say, folks, is that for me personally, every day is just full of boundless love and bliss. And the only thing I'm after with these podcasts is I'm trying to get more people like me out there who has the strength and who can have that impenetrable mind, so that you can be like a superhero out there in your neck of the woods and be an inspiration to others. This is Atma Bodha signing off, and until tomorrow, you have a wonderful day.